Hi, welcome to I'm a Project Junkie. Today I'm going to show you how I created my lamps using candelabras for my bedroom. Okay, so first you lay out all your pieces in the way that you need them to go. And I just wanted to show you, you can get a kit from Ace Hardware, but this kit, I don't like the color of the brass pieces, so I instead bought all of these pieces individual, as you can see here. Okay, so I'm going to start with how I drilled the holes, and then as I piece it together, I'll talk to you about the parts. So you just need a drill bit, the size of your rod, which this was 5/16, and the rod came as individual pieces at Ace Hardware, so I just placed it up to the drill bit and put my fingers next to it, and it felt like it was the right size, so that's how I chose. So you want to put a piece of painter's tape on the area that you need to drill the hole in the front and the bottom, and then I just literally laid this down and put a little bit of pressure, not a lot. You just want to turn your drill on, put just a little bit of pressure, and just keep pushing a little bit more until it goes through. And then the same thing on the back side. This is hollow, so it made it real easy just to drill through on both ends. Okay, so now that you have that finished, you're going to take your wire that comes either with your kit or you're going to purchase it individually, and you just fish it through until you have about this much on the side. And now I'm going to show you how I pieced it all together. When it first comes out, it's going to look just like this. So you're going to tear a section about this much, and then you're going to get your wire strippers and then just take off a section. I think that's about a 1/2 inch to 1 inch section. And so you wait until you finish fishing it through the rod before you do that. But this is already done, so I'm showing you after. Okay, now this is important. The rod, I first installed this and it was upside down. So you want the rod with a little bit of the threads on the bottom sticking out, and this is an actual extender. So I'm going to show you that, because each item that you're going to create a lamp, you don't exactly know how high this needs to be, but if you can see this comparison, obviously this isn't high enough. So I needed to add an extension so that the lamp, the light fixture part will be above this area. And the way you do that is to piece it together. And so I purchased this rod, and then there's another kit that you buy all these other little individual pieces, and these are on there pretty good, so I'm going to show you real quick. So you have this piece that you put on, then you have this little sleeve that connects the two. So you place that on there, and that is what I use to connect this to extend it. Okay. So now that we have that nice and tight, this piece right here is going to come up in the top. So this long piece goes inside the candelabra, but first you have to fish the wire through it. So we're going to go through very carefully. Now believe me, I had to do this many times over and over to figure all this out, because even with the instructions it wasn't clear. So that's the main reason I really wanted to make a video, to help other people. Okay, now we're going to talk about this bottom piece. Where's my, oh, here we go. Okay, so I'm going to show you the bottom. So you basically have this little section sticking out, and I put this is actually what you want to put on first. So before you fish this wire into here, I'm sorry I didn't tell you that first, you're going to put this lock nut on, and then you're going to fish it through. the rod. So this piece right here locks it in place. And this is a kit that you can get at Ace Hardware too. I'm going to put all the information in the descriptions and give you a link. Okay, so that part's locked in, so that's not going anywhere. So now you work on the rest of it. Don't worry about how much you give. You have just enough to work with because you're going to pull all this down, it'll be in place. Okay, so then we have another sleeve, and then we have another lock nut, and then we have this header piece, and then we have another lock nut. It basically sandwiches this piece right here. Okay, so we're going to put this on. This is more decorative, as you can see right here. So this is how it's going to be installed. So you fish it through the bottom like this. And I have a mascot with me. My sweet Gracie loves to participate in all my projects, so if you see her in the video, she'll be very excited. She really likes people and she loves to help her mama. Okay, so then we're going to fish this piece through as well. I know, Gracie. Okay. And you'll see what these are going to be for. Basically, it's going to hold together this part of the rod. Okay, now we're going to put together this piece that holds the light bulb. Okay, so now we're going to fish the bottom part. So you're going to take this piece here, you're going to run it through like this, pull this down. Okay, so now you're going to take this piece and you're going to pull it apart. Then you're going to use your wire strippers and just take a little section, about a ½ inch off of this, and then you're going to curl them. Okay, so now you're going to take this piece on the left and you're going to fold it forward and you're going to make a loop underneath. So that's what you see here. So it's not twisting, you're just bowing it forward and then make a loop like that. And then you take the second one on the right and you bend it forward and wrap it around this wire, and when you come back up you're going to go inside this the one on the loop on the left. Okay, so you can see that. Okay, so now we're going to attach it to this piece here, and basically you're going to wrap it around the screws in the direction that the screws close. So that right now these both close clockwise, so I wrap one around the silver, you just want to get it on there real tight. Sometimes a knife actually works a little better with these, and you just tighten it down. Okay, so then we take the other one and then you wrap it clockwise around this screw, and then you tighten it. You just try to make sure it's connected all the way around. Okay, there we go. So now this is connected. So you pull this sleeve up, and then we're going to attach this piece. So this part right here just fits right on top, like this. This paper is a little tricky to get over it, so I kind of put that one on and then just slip this. And then you just want to get these little teeth next to the little slits, and then it snaps into place, just like that. Okay, so now we're going to put it all together. So you just pull the cord from the bottom, and see how I just snaked it up So then I put that down, and then I'm gonna turn. I want to make sure you can see everything that I'm doing here close up. So you just screw down this washer, and then this comes on, and then this goes on top of it, and you screw it on, and you pull this. Now this actually fits right on top. Let's see if it screws on. Kind of screws down. So you're just turning this. Probably be easier to turn this thing. So hold this piece and turn this to screw it into the bottom. Whichever way works, but you need this tightened up. And then, okay, so now you have, I want to make sure you see all these little pieces here. So this lock nut, just raise it up to tighten, to hold this piece in place. And then now that that is secure, we're going to put the screw that fits in this piece here to hold it in place. So you have this little tiny screw here. I'm going to turn it this way so you can see, hopefully. There's a little tiny piece right here. Not piece, it's a tiny hole that this screw fits in the neck of that outlet part. So that you just get that inside very carefully. Let me see if I can use my fingers. A little easier. There we go. Sometimes this is a learning curve. Okay, so once you get this tightened up, we're going to set it up, and then we're going to tighten all the pieces. There we go. It's probably better using your little screwdriver. Okay, so that's secure. So now we set it up, and we're going to pull everything tight. Okay, I'm going to look to see if this is standing about the same height. These are a little different in height, so you see how this one's a little bit lower, so you just keep adjusting it until it's about the right height. You can measure it or you can eyeball it. I just kind of eyeball all of this. Okay, so now take this piece, and you're actually going all the way down and tighten it where this is sandwiched. Okay, I'm going to put the bulb in so I can check the height of all this correctly. Okay, so we need to go a little bit shorter. We're just going to finish tightening these pieces, and then we'll be finished. I do want to talk to you about the mistake I made on my first lamp as soon as I get this tightened up, because I want to show you the reason to use a drill and not another tool. Okay. Alright, we're going to use, okay, so see how this is still loose right here? That's what you're going to use this tool for. You want to tighten these up using two of these. So you have one here, one on the top and one on the bottom. You just hold one in place, and you're going to tighten the second one. You can probably use your hand. And then I just kind of tighten. Make sure this is real tight. But make sure that this piece right here is not stuck on the side, because it makes it really difficult when you're trying to turn it on and off. So you just hold it tight. This piece gave me a little trouble, but once you get it tight, it's fine. Okay, there we go. So everything is in place, and now these little pieces right here, you just slip those down, and then your lampshade's going to cover any of the other hardware that you may not like, and I know that they have other parts that are more decorative if you don't like to see that rod. But that's the finished product. That's how I installed it. Okay, now I want to talk to you about this piece right here. If you find yourself impatient, like I can be at times, I'm going to take this off so you can see. So this is the first one that I did. So I thought, I can just take a hammer and a nail. I think that's a great idea. So I got my hammer and I got my nail and I put it right in the middle of this, and I just hit it once and it created a hole. I don't know if you can see it in there, but it's a hole. And I thought, great. So now the rod is moving around on the inside. And I thought, I'm not giving up on this project. I'm going to have to figure out a way to make this work. So I went to a lamp store that specialized in lamps and lamp parts. And they're more expensive if you price them out versus getting a kit either online or at Ace. And so I don't always recommend going those if you're taking the cost-effective route. But what I did is I got an extra one of these because I kept thinking I just need something to anchor this thing inside. And if you can see that, this piece right here, I turned it upside down and just screwed it, just slipped it right through the rod and then sandwiched it. Actually, I didn't put a nut on the bottom. I put a nut on the top in between here. So I just set this thing right on top, and by the time I added all the other pieces and tightened them up, it's not going anywhere. So that's how I fixed that. But I don't want you to have to go through all that. So use a drill bit. Use the painter's tape. It's a whole lot better. Okay, so thank you for watching, and stay tuned. I have a couple of other videos that I'll be uploading soon as well. One of the projects that I finished for the kitchen was a valance that I made above the kitchen sink using a tin ceiling tile. And I also have a video where I made wood signs for my kitchen. And so stay tuned for that. Thank you.